Looking for your dream house can lead in some crazy directions. Just ask our next homeowner. Her search led her all the way back to her old hometown. Rocky Ford, Georgia. Population 200. Almost became a ghost town. So Greta Newton Brunken and her husband Charlie bought the entire downtown block in 1991. Built in 1886, it houses a post office, cafe, and the former site of a Depression-era bank. And Charlie and Greta live on the second floor of a 7,000 square foot attached warehouse, where there's an office, living room, dining room, kitchen, and master bedroom suite with open bath, all in one big space with plenty of room for lots of Southern hospitality. And this room used to house the old warehouse freight elevator.
So we just filled in the floor, the platform, but we left the pulleys on the ceiling because just as a focal point.
They even reused some of the old elevator for decorating.
This is the counterweight actually for the doors of the elevator when you shove it down and pull it up. And of course, it's a rather interesting piece. The only thing you have to be careful of is in the middle of the night, this thing is iron. So you have to be paying attention when you walk through the house at night.
Unfinished original hardwood floors, spotted with spills, tell stories of past inhabitants.
Some folks did get a hold of the building and they decided to store their automobile-like motor block things up here, and they were left unattended, so all the oil ran out and it just saturated the floor. But I just think it's kind of cool, and it's like, you know, it just reminds me that it's all real and it's genuine.
And an old laundry chute still comes in handy today.
And I have to admit, it saves you a lot of steps, because when Charlie's office was downstairs, I could chunk things down to him.
Downstairs on the first level is a sitting room, which used to be a meat market.
That was the old butcher shop, as evidenced of this big long thing. That's where they hung their beef or whatever.
Charlie and Greta love their sunny home, but why all these wonderful windows in a warehouse?
We suspect that this thing was originally designed as either a hotel or a boarding house. You can see there's about 11 windows going this way and around the front of the building, and another 3 on the back. And obviously they wouldn't have put that many windows in the warehouse.
Buying these buildings was a personal purchase for Greta. In fact, her great-grandfather was one of the builders of the downtown block.
I came back home to Rocky Ford in 1991 in this town where I grew up, and these buildings weren't being taken care of, and I wanted to save it for future generations.
Charlie was immediately on board. As an engineer, he had an appreciation for the building's longevity.
This thing is exactly like it was the day it was built, which is an awesome thing to me. And they wanted to stand for 100 years, which is not always the case with modern construction.
The two had a grand plan to preserve the place, but they didn't know what they were getting into.
Let's see, what's that word they always use, honey, when you start to restore things, when you don't exactly know what's there? It's called budget.
Yes, you can't, it's impossible to budget for something like this.
It was a jungle out there when they started this 14-year renovation, especially in the courtyard, located between the back of the post office and the stairs to Charlie and Greta's front entrance.
The first time I saw it, I absolutely could not believe the amount of vines and weeds and stickers, and the vines were all over the buildings, and you actually could not walk down there in the courtyard.
Baby steps and a lot of patience went a long way, especially when climbing the stairs up to the house.
It was an interesting process the first time in. It was death-defying, as a matter of fact, because they were about to fall off the building. They had lost their attachment to the brick. And we basically scooted up the side to get up. And that was the only way to get in the house.
Now the stairs are safe, and despite all the hard work, Greta and Charlie never had any second thoughts about this small-town renovation turned labor of love.
I saved it for other kids like me that are going to grow up and want to come back home someday, because everybody always wants to go home.
And Greta's on top of the world, taking in life from her favorite downtown perch, her rooftop.